pain, it's the one thing none of us can escape. It doesn't knock, it barges in, and it doesn't care if you're ready. But here's the truth, pain is not your enemy, it's your greatest teacher. Every moment it hurts is a chance to grow stronger, wiser, and more unshakable. Most people run from it, numb it, or let it break them. But not you. Today, you're going to learn how to stand in the middle of the storm, look pain in the eye, and turn it into your fuel, because pain doesn't define you. How you face it does. Accept that pain is inevitable. The very first step in learning how to deal with pain is to accept that it is inevitable. No matter who you are, no matter where you live, no matter how careful you try to be, pain will find you. It's not a question of if you will experience it, but when. We often treat pain as an intruder, as something unnatural that should never happen. We see it as an enemy that ruins our lives. But the truth is, pain is part of the human experience. It's as real and as certain as joy, love, and laughter. The problem is, when you fight against the fact that pain exists, you only make it worse. Think about it. When pain comes and your first reaction is denial, you pile resistance on top of an already difficult experience. You tell yourself, this shouldn't be happening to me. But reality doesn't care about should or shouldn't. Reality is what it is. The more you reject that truth, the heavier the pain feels. Acceptance is not the same as liking the pain. It doesn't mean you're okay with it or that you're happy it's here. It simply means you stop wasting your energy pretending it shouldn't exist. It means you stop pouring fuel on the fire by wishing reality was different. When you accept pain, you shift from, why is this happening to me, to, this is happening, now what can I do about it? That shift in perspective is the first step towards strength. You take back control of your energy. You stop fighting the fact that the wound exists and start focusing on how to heal it. This mindset is deeply rooted in some of the world's greatest philosophies. The Stoics, for example, taught that suffering comes not from the event itself, but from our resistance to it. They believed that when you accept reality as it is, pain and all, you become unshakable. Even in the toughest environments, military training, elite sports, or survival situations, acceptance is the first rule. Soldiers don't waste time wishing the battlefield was safe. Athletes don't deny the pain of their training. Survivors don't sit down in the snow and cry about the cold. They all know that acknowledging the pain is the first step to moving through it. And here's the truth. Acceptance actually makes pain lighter. The mental load of resistance is gone, and you can channel that freed energy into adapting, coping, and eventually overcoming. You cannot grow without discomfort. You cannot become stronger without challenges. You cannot live fully without moments that hurt. Accepting that pain is part of life isn't just about surviving, it's about freeing yourself to truly live. So the next time pain knocks on your door, don't waste time pretending it's a mistake. Open the door, look it in the eye and say, I knew you'd come. Let's see what you've got to teach me. Stop asking, why me? One of the most natural human reactions to pain is to look up at the sky, clench our fists and ask, why me? It's almost instinctive. When something terrible happens, a loss, a betrayal, a failure, an illness, the mind instantly starts searching for reasons. We want an explanation. We want to know why this pain singled us out. But here's the problem. The why me question rarely gives us anything useful. Instead of leading us to answers, it traps us in a cycle of self-pity and resentment. It turns us into victims in our own story. And when you start to see yourself as a victim, you hand over your power. You convince yourself that life is something that happens to you instead of something you actively shape. The truth is, pain doesn't play favorites. It doesn't choose based on who deserves it and who doesn't. Good people suffer. Bad people sometimes seem to thrive. Life has its own rules, and fairness is not always one of them. That's a hard truth to accept, but it's the reality we live in. When you stay stuck in why me mode, you burn energy on questions you can't control instead of actions you can. You keep replaying the event in your mind, as if thinking harder will somehow change it. But the past is fixed. No amount of wondering will undo what happened. So instead of asking, why me? Start asking, what now? This one shift changes everything. What now is a forward-moving question. It forces you to think about solutions, next steps, and action. It takes you out of the role of a powerless victim and puts you back in the driver's seat of your life. Let's say you lose your job. Why me will keep you angry at your boss, bitter at the company, and stressed about the injustice. But what now makes you update your resume, apply for new positions, and start networking. If you're dealing with heartbreak, why me will have you scrolling through LD photos, analyzing every moment, and spiraling deeper into sadness. But what now pushes you to focus on self-improvement, new hobbies, and rebuilding your confidence. This doesn't mean you should skip feeling your emotions. Pain needs to be processed. But there's a difference between feeling and feeding the pain. Constantly asking, why me, is feeding it. It gives it more power, more life. When you replace why me with what now, you are telling yourself, I refuse to get stuck here. I may not have chosen this, but I will choose my response. My pain is not going to be the end of my story. It's going to be the turning point. Life isn't always about getting the answers you want. It's about learning to move forward without them. So when pain comes, don't waste time arguing with it. Channel your energy into building what comes next. Face the pain, don't run from it. When pain hits, our natural instinct is to run from it. We distract ourselves. We hide from it. We bury it under work, entertainment, addictions, anything to avoid feeling it. And on the surface, that seems like the easy way out. Who wouldn't want to escape? But here's the hard truth. You can't outrun pain. You can only delay it. And the longer you avoid it, the deeper it digs into you. It becomes like a shadow. You can turn your back, but it will always follow. Think about it. When you suppress emotional pain, you may avoid tears for a while, but that pain finds other ways to leak into your life. Anger at the wrong people, loss of motivation, unexplained anxiety, physical tension in your body. When you run from physical pain, you risk making an injury worse. When you run from the pain of failure, you deny yourself the lessons that could have made you unstoppable. The strongest people in the world aren't the ones who never feel pain. They're the ones who face it head on. They stare it down, they acknowledge it, and they deal with it instead of pretending it's not there. Facing pain requires courage because it means standing in the middle of the storm instead of hiding in the basement. It means allowing yourself to feel the discomfort, the grief, the anger, the loss, without numbing it or running from it. And here's why it matters. Pain is information. It's your body's way of telling you something is wrong. It's your heart's way of telling you something mattered. It's your mind's way of saying there's a lesson to be learned. When you face pain, you open yourself to that message. When you run from it, you miss it entirely. Ask yourself, what is this pain trying to teach me? If it's physical pain, maybe it's telling you to rest, to train smarter, or to treat your body with more care. If it's emotional pain, maybe it's teaching you about about what you value, or about who truly belongs in your life. If it's the pain of failure, maybe it's sharpening your skills and preparing you for a bigger win down the road. Facing pain also strips it of its power. What you avoid controls you, but what you face, you can conquer. The moment you stop running and turn toward your pain, you take back the power it had over your life. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it might feel like you're standing in fire. But remember, fire doesn't just burn, it also forges. Every time you face pain instead of running from it, you forge a stronger, braver, and wiser version of yourself. So the next time pain comes knocking, don't slam the door and hide. Open it. Look it in the eye. Say, I'm here. I'm not afraid to feel this, because only when you face it can you finally move through it. Build resilience through pain. If there's one thing pain can do better than anything else, it's building resilience. Resilience isn't something you're born with, it's something you earn, one hardship at a time. And here's the truth. You can't develop resilience in a comfortable, pain-free life. Just like muscles need resistance to grow stronger, your character needs challenges to become unbreakable. Pain is life's natural weight training for your mind and spirit. Every time you go through something difficult, you're being handed an opportunity to increase your tolerance for adversity. At first, it feels impossible. You think you'll never get through it, but then you do. And that moment changes you forever. Think about athletes. They don't become champions by avoiding the pain of training. They embrace it. They know that every drop of sweat, every aching muscle is preparing them for the big moment when it counts. The same principle applies to life. Your everyday struggles are preparing you for bigger challenges ahead. Here's the thing. Resilience isn't about never feeling pain or pretending you're unaffected. It's about feeling the pain, acknowledging it, and still moving forward despite it. It's the mindset that says, yes, this hurts, but it won't stop me. When you look back on the hardest moments of your life, you'll notice something. You're still here. You survived. And in many cases, you came out stronger, wiser, and more capable. That's resilience in action, built from pain you thought you couldn't handle, but did. One of the best ways to build resilience is to stop avoiding discomfort. We live in a society that constantly tells us to seek pleasure, avoid stress, and choose the easiest route. But that comfort-first mindset keeps people mentally fragile. Instead, train yourself to step into controlled discomfort. Take on challenges that stretch you, whether it's physical training, learning a difficult skill, or facing a fear. The more you expose yourself to manageable levels of pain, the more you teach your mind and body that they can handle it. This doesn't just prepare you for those situations. It rewires your brain to see challenges as opportunities rather than threats. And here's the powerful part. Resilience doesn't just help you survive pain. It changes your relationship with it. Instead of fearing it, you start to respect it. You see it as proof that you're alive, growing, and capable of enduring more than you imagined. Pain will always be part of life, but resilience transforms it from a crushing weight into a stepping stone. Every time you face hardship and push through, you're not just surviving, you're building a mental armor that makes you unstoppable in the long run. So the next time pain knocks on your door, remember, it's not just there to hurt you, it's there to train you. And every rep you put in, every hardship you face, is another layer of resilience that no one can take away from you. Shift your perspective on pain. Pain by itself is neither good nor bad, it's neutral. What gives it meaning is the perspective you choose to attach to it. If you see pain as punishment, you'll run from it. If you see pain as proof that life is unfair, you'll become bitter. But if you see pain as a signal for growth, a stepping stone, or even a rite of passage, everything changes. Our perspective on pain shapes our experience of it more than the pain itself. Two people can go through the same event, losing a job, enduring heartbreak, or facing illness, and come out with completely different outcomes. One person may spiral into hopelessness, while the other uses it as fuel to rebuild stronger. The difference isn't in the pain, it's in the meaning they attach to it. Consider the story of athletes who suffer major injuries. Some see it as the end of their careers, while others view it as an opportunity to come back sharper, more focused, and more determined. Their bodies experienced the same physical pain, but their minds wrote different stories about it. Shifting your perspective on pain doesn't mean denying its reality. You're not pretending it doesn't hurt. You're simply choosing to see beyond the hurt. You're asking, what else could this mean? What else could this lead to? One way to shift your perspective is to reframe pain as evidence that you're alive and engaged in the game of life. Think about it. If you felt no pain at all, it would mean you weren't challenging yourself, loving deeply, or taking any risks. A pain-free life often means a passion-free life. Another powerful reframe is to see pain as the tuition you pay for wisdom. Every mistake, heartbreak, or failure teaches you something you couldn't have learned from comfort. You don't grow when everything is easy. You grow when you're stretched beyond what's familiar. Pain is often the price tag attached to your next level of growth. You can also shift your perspective by looking at the long-term view. In the moment, pain feels endless. But when you zoom out, you see it as one chapter in your life, not the entire book. The temporary suffering you endure today might be the very thing that equips you to handle something greater tomorrow. Even ancient warriors and philosophers understood this. The Stoics didn't try to eliminate pain. They trained themselves to meet it with acceptance and courage. They knew that perspective was the bridge between struggle and strength. So the next time you face pain, pause and ask yourself, if I were to see this as a gift, what would that gift be? That question alone can shift you from feeling powerless to feeling purposeful. When you change your perspective on pain, you don't just endure it, you transform it. And in doing so, you transform yourself. Don't let pain define you. One of the greatest dangers of pain is that it can start to become part of your identity. If you're not careful, you begin to see yourself through the lens of what happened to you instead of who you truly are. You've probably heard people say things like, I'm a victim of this, or I'm the person who went through that. While those statements might be factually true, they can quietly trap you in the past. They make your pain the most important thing about you, when in reality, it's only a chapter of your story, not the title of your life. When pain defines you, it limits you. It becomes the filter through which you make decisions, view relationships, and set goals. If you've been betrayed, you might carry suspicion into every connection. If you failed in the past, you might stop trying entirely. Without realizing it, your pain starts making choices for you. But here's the truth. You are not your pain. You are not your trauma, your scars, your heartbreak, or your failures. These are experiences you've had, not your entire identity. They may have shaped you, but they don't own you. One of the first steps to breaking free from this trap is to change the language you use about yourself. Instead of saying, I am broken, say, I went through a breaking point, but I am healing. Instead of saying, I'm a failure, say, I experienced failure, but I am learning and growing. Words matter. They shape your self-image and your belief in what's possible. It's also essential to remember that while you can't control everything that happens to you, you have full control over how you respond. You get to decide whether your pain will be the thing that holds you down or the fuel that pushes you forward. Think about people who've been through unimaginable hardships, survivors of war, abuse, loss, or serious illness, yet go on to inspire millions. They don't pretend the pain never happened. They simply refuse to let it define who they are today. They define themselves by their courage, resilience, and the way they choose to show up in the world despite their wounds. Separating your identity from your pain doesn't mean forgetting the past or pretending it didn't hurt. It means refusing to let it write the rest of your story. You acknowledge it, you learn from it, and then you keep moving forward. The key is this. See yourself not as someone marked by pain, but as someone forged by it. Steel is made strong in fire, and so are you. Your scars aren't signs of weakness. They're proof you've survived battles others couldn't see. Don't let your pain become your name tag. Let your courage, persistence, and strength be what people remember. Because in the end, you are so much more than what hurt you. You are what you've become after it. Channel your pain into action. Pain has two possible outcomes. It can paralyze you or it can propel you. The choice is always yours. When you face hardship, you can sit in it, replaying the story over and over in your mind until it consumes you. Or you can use that same energy to create something new, something powerful, something better. The difference between people who stay stuck and those who rise isn't the pain itself, it's what they do with it. Pain is raw energy. It's intense, heavy, and sometimes overwhelming. But that energy doesn't have to stay locked inside you. When you learn to channel it into action, it becomes fuel instead of a weight. Think of some of the world's greatest achievements. They often come from people who endured deep suffering. Artists turn heartbreak into timeless music. Athletes use the sting of loss to push harder in training. Entrepreneurs transform financial ruin into innovative businesses. These people didn't wait for pain to fade. They redirected it into something that gave their struggle meaning. Channeling your pain starts with asking yourself a powerful question. What can I do with this? Not why me? Not when will this end? But how can I turn this into a driving force for something bigger? If you've lost someone, honor them by living fully in a way that would make them proud. If you've been betrayed, use that pain to build better boundaries and healthier relationships. If you've failed, let that sting fuel your hunger to learn, grow, and try again with twice the determination. Action doesn't have to be grand or dramatic at first. It can be as simple as committing to daily exercise to release emotional tension, starting a journal to process your thoughts, or volunteering to help others facing similar struggles. Small, consistent actions transform pain into momentum. Here's why action is so powerful. Pain thrives in stagnation. When you sit still, your mind loops the hurt like a broken record. But when you move, physically, mentally, or emotionally, you interrupt that loop. You shift from being a passive sufferer to an active creator of your next chapter. This is why some people come out of tough times completely transformed. They don't just wait for healing, they work for it. Every day they choose to do something, however small, that shifts them toward progress. Over time, those small steps compound into massive change. Remember, pain is a signal. It's telling you something needs to change. The question is, will you let that signal fade into the background while life passes you by? Or will you respond to it with action that reshapes your future? You can't always choose whether pain enters your life, but you can always choose whether it leaves you broken or leaves you stronger, wiser, and more unstoppable than ever. Take that pain, redirect it, and let it become the fuel that powers your greatest victories. Use pain to discover your purpose. Pain has a way of stripping life down to its essentials. When everything is going well, it's easy to get distracted, chasing comfort, material things, or surface-level goals. But when pain hits, it forces you to ask deeper questions. What really matters to me? What am I here for? What is worth my energy, my time, my life? This is why so many people find their true calling not in moments of ease, but in the middle of their hardest trials. Pain, as cruel as it may seem, can be a compass. It points you toward the values, people, and causes that truly matter. Think about people who dedicate their lives to helping others after surviving a personal tragedy. A cancer survivor who becomes an advocate for patients, someone who lost a loved one to addiction, who now works in recovery programs, or a person who grew up in poverty, who now fights for education reform. In each case, the pain didn't just break them, it directed them. The truth is, purpose often grows from struggle. Your deepest wounds can become the foundation for your greatest contributions. But only if you're willing to look at your pain differently. Not just as something to survive, but as something to learn from and use. Start by reflecting on the specific pain you've endured. What did it teach you? Did it reveal how much you value family, freedom, honesty, health, or resilience? Did it expose injustice that you can't ignore? Did it awaken empathy for people you used to overlook? Purpose doesn't always come in a flash of inspiration. It often comes from paying attention to these moments, these realizations that pain carves into you. Next, ask yourself, how can I use what I've been through to make things better for others? Your pain can give you credibility, relatability, and the kind of wisdom that can't be faked. When you've walked through the fire, you speak from a place of truth, and people feel it. And here's the beautiful thing, when you link your pain to a purpose, it changes how you see it. The suffering you once wished would disappear becomes the very thing that fuels your drive. You stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and start saying, "This happened for a reason, and I'm going to make sure it counts." Purpose doesn't erase pain, but it gives it meaning. And meaning is what keeps you going when life gets hard again, because it will. Purpose becomes your anchor in the storm and your reason to rise every time you fall. So don't just try to forget your pain or hide it away. Study it, understand it, then use it. Let it guide you toward the mission you were meant to live. Because the moment you turn your pain into purpose, you stop being a victim of it, and you start being the hero of your own story. Accept that pain is part of the journey. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that pain is a sign that something has gone wrong with their life. They think, if I'm hurting, I must have taken the wrong path. But here's the truth. Pain is not proof that you're failing. In many cases, it's proof that you're growing. Every worthwhile journey comes with discomfort. Think about physical training. Muscles don't grow without resistance. The soreness after a workout is not a signal to stop. It's a sign that your body is adapting and getting stronger. The same principle applies to your mind, your career, your relationships, and your spirit. When you chase big goals, break old habits, or step into the unknown, pain is inevitable. You'll face setbacks, rejection, doubt, and fear. That's not the universe punishing you. It's life shaping you into the person capable of handling the success you're chasing. The problem is, many people see pain as the enemy. They run from it, hide from it, and in doing so they also run from their own growth. They choose comfort over challenge, and in the process they stay stuck. But if you can shift your perspective and see pain as a natural, even necessary part of your path, you'll stop wasting energy, resisting it, and start using it. Accepting pain doesn't mean you enjoy it or seek it out for no reason. It means you understand it's a companion on the road to greatness. Just like you can't climb a mountain without feeling fatigue, you can't transform your life without facing trials. Think about every hero's journey you've ever heard. There's always a stage where the hero is tested, where they suffer loss, get knocked down, or are pushed to their limits. That chapter isn't an accident. It's the part of the story where the hero becomes who they need to be for the victory ahead. Your journey is no different. When you accept pain as part of too. The process, you stop asking why me and start asking what is this teaching me? You approach challenges with curiosity instead of resentment. You begin to see setbacks not as roadblocks but as stepping stones. Here's the mindset shift. Instead of waiting for the day when life is free of pain, because that day will never come, focus on building the strength to carry it with you. Over time, you'll find that what once felt unbearable becomes manageable, and what was once manageable becomes easy. Pain is not a detour from the path. It is the path. It's the fire that forges resilience, the teacher that delivers hard-earned wisdom, and the test that proves you're ready for more. So the next time you find yourself hurting, don't think, this shouldn't be happening. Think, this is part of my journey. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Because when you truly accept that, pain loses its power to break you and gains the power to build you. Surround yourself with the right people. When you're going through pain, the people around you can either be your greatest source of strength or your biggest source of weakness. The truth is, pain can be heavy, and carrying it alone makes it feel almost impossible. But the wrong company can make that weight even heavier. We've all seen it. When you're at your lowest, some people will dismiss your struggles, judge you, or feed your negativity. They might not mean harm, but their energy, their words, and their attitudes can drag you further into the pit. That's why you have to be intentional about who you allow into your life during difficult times. Surrounding yourself with the right people doesn't just mean finding those who will comfort you. It means finding those who will challenge you, remind you of your strength, and hold you accountable to keep moving forward. These are the people who will listen when you need to vent, but also push you to take action instead of staying stuck in your pain. The right people create an environment where healing is possible. They lift your perspective when your vision is clouded. They speak life when your inner voice is filled with doubt. They remind you of your worth when your pain makes you forget. Sometimes you may need to distance yourself from certain individuals, not out of malice, but out of self-preservation. If someone constantly drains you, belittles your efforts, or feeds your fear, you owe it to yourself to protect your emotional space. Pain is already challenging enough. You don't need voices in your life that amplify it. Seek out relationships that are rooted in mutual growth and respect. This could be close friends, family members who truly understand, mentors, coaches, or support groups filled with people who have been through similar struggles. Being around people who've walked through their own pain and come out strong, it can inspire you to believe you can do the same. And remember, it's not just about receiving support, it's also about giving it. When you help someone else carry their pain, you gain perspective on your own. Supporting others can make your struggles feel less isolating and give you a renewed sense of purpose. You should also be mindful of the energy you contribute to your circle. The right group isn't just there to lift you. They also need you to be someone who lifts them. When you pour positivity, encouragement, and strength into the lives of others, you deepen the bonds that will hold you up when you need it most. Pain will try to make you withdraw and isolate yourself, but healing often happens in community. The right people won't just share your victories. They'll stand beside you in your battles, help you shoulder the weight, and remind you of the person you're capable of becoming. Choose wisely, because when you're surrounded by people who see your potential, your pain stops being a cage and starts becoming the fuel for your rise. Focus on what you can control. One of the fastest ways to drown in pain is to give all your attention to the things you can't control. We replay events in our heads, obsess over what should have happened, and spiral into what-if scenarios that only make us feel more powerless. But here's the reality. No amount of worrying, wishing, or replaying the past will change it. The only thing you truly have power over is what you choose to do next. When you're in pain, the temptation is to fixate on the source, whether it's a betrayal, a loss, a failure, or an injustice. But while it's natural to acknowledge what hurt you, staying stuck there traps you in victim mode. The way forward begins when you shift your focus from what you can't change to what you can. You can't control what others did, but you can control how you respond. You can't control the outcome of every situation, but you can control your effort, your attitude, and your choices moving forward. This is where your power lies, in your actions, your mindset, and your habits. Start small. Ask yourself, what is one thing I can do today that moves me one step closer to healing or growth? It might be exercising to release tension, journaling to process emotions, having an honest conversation, or simply getting out of bed and showing up for the day. When you commit to focusing on what you can control, you regain a sense of agency. You're no longer at the mercy of life. You're actively shaping your own path. This shift doesn't mean the pain disappears overnight, but it does mean it stops dictating every move you make. Pain can make you feel helpless, but helplessness is often a perception, not a reality. There are always things within your reach that can improve your situation, even if they seem small at first. And here's the thing. Small actions compound. Over time, they build momentum, and momentum creates transformation. Think about it like steering a ship. You might not be able to control the storm, but you can control the direction of your sails. You can choose not to capsize. You can navigate around the waves instead of letting them crush you. Focusing on what you can control also protects your mental health. It stops you from wasting precious energy on battles you cannot win and redirects that energy toward building a better future. The truth is, life will always have uncertainty, setbacks, and pain. But if you master the discipline of directing your focus toward what's within your influence, you'll develop resilience that no hardship can take away. So take ownership. Stop waiting for the world to change in your favor. Change what you can and let go of the rest. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. And it's one of the most powerful ways to turn pain into progress Practice patience in healing. In a world addicted to speed, we expect everything to happen instantly. We want quick results, quick success, quick fixes. And that same mindset bleeds into how we deal with pain. But here's the truth that many people struggle to accept. Healing is not instant. It's a process, and that process takes time. You can't rush a broken bone to mend faster just because you're impatient. You can't speed up the grieving process simply because you want to stop feeling sad. Emotional and physical wounds follow their own timeline. And when we try to force healing to happen faster than it naturally should, we often end up making it worse. Patience in healing means giving yourself permission to go through the process without guilt, without self-criticism, and without constantly comparing your progress to others. It means understanding that some days will feel like giant leaps forward and other days will feel like you're sliding backwards, and that's normal. The mistake many people make is believing that setbacks mean they're failing. In reality, healing is rarely a straight line. It's more like a series of waves, ups and downs, highs and lows. The key is to keep moving through those waves instead of giving up when the tide pulls you back. Patience also means resisting the temptation to numb the pain in unhealthy ways. It's easy to distract yourself with temporary relief, overworking, overindulging, or avoiding the issue altogether. But those shortcuts only delay true healing. Patience requires the courage to sit with discomfort, to face what hurts, and to work through it instead of around it. One of the best things you can do while practicing patience is to track your progress. Look back at where you were weeks or months ago. You might not see the change day to day, but over time you'll notice you've grown stronger, calmer, and more capable of carrying the weight that once felt unbearable. Patience in healing also means not rushing into decisions just to feel better. When emotions are raw, our judgment can be clouded. Giving yourself time to think, reflect, and regain balance before acting can save you from making choices you'll regret later. Remember, healing is not a race, it's a journey. And just because it's taking longer than you expected doesn't mean you won't get there. It simply means the transformation happening inside you is deeper than you realize. Be gentle with yourself. Just like seeds take time to break through the soil, your strength takes time to break through your pain. Trust the process, even when it feels slow. Because with patience, one day you'll wake up and realize the wound no longer controls you. You control it. Channel pain into purpose. Pain by itself can feel meaningless, just suffering without direction. But here's the secret that separates those who are crushed by pain from those who are transformed by it. They take that pain and give it a purpose. Every struggle you've faced, every heartbreak, every setback, it can either be the thing that breaks you or it can be the thing that builds you. The choice is yours. Channeling pain into purpose means refusing to let your suffering be wasted. It means taking the lessons, the strength, and the wisdom you've earned through hardship and using them to create something bigger than yourself. Think about the people who've inspired you most in life. Many of them didn't get where they are because life was easy for them. They got there because they took the very thing that tried to destroy them and turned it into fuel. A person who has faced deep pain knows how to empathize with others. They know how to fight harder. They know the value of things most people take for granted. When you channel your pain into purpose, you give it meaning. If you've experienced loss, maybe your purpose is to honor that person by living fully. If you've faced rejection, maybe your purpose is to help others believe in themselves. If you've struggled with illness, maybe your purpose is to inspire people to take better care of their health. Purpose transforms pain into power. It shifts your focus from, "Why did this happen to me?" to, "What can I do because this happened to me?" That change in mindset is liberating. It gives you control over a situation that once made you feel powerless. This doesn't mean ignoring or denying your pain. It means integrating it into your story in a way that pushes you forward instead of holding you back. Some of the world's most impactful leaders, artists, and innovators built their work from the ashes of their struggles. To begin handling your pain into purpose, ask yourself, what lessons has this pain taught me that I can share? Who could benefit from the wisdom I've gained? How can I use this experience to make a difference? Once you start answering those questions, you'll realize that your pain has given you a unique perspective, one that can inspire, guide, and empower others. And here's the beautiful part. The more you use your pain to help others, the lighter it feels for you. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can control what you do with it. And when you turn your pain into purpose, you stop being defined by what you went through. You become defined by what you created because of it. That's how pain becomes more than just something you survived. That's how it becomes the reason someone else finds the strength to survive too. Celebrate small wins. When you're dealing with pain, whether it's emotional, physical, or mental, it's easy to feel like progress is invisible. You're so focused on the end goal of feeling better that you overlook the small steps that are actually proof you're moving forward. That's why learning to celebrate small wins is a critical part of healing. A win doesn't have to be a life-changing breakthrough. It can be something as simple as getting out of bed when it felt impossible yesterday. It can be making a healthy meal instead of skipping food. It can be going for a short walk, smiling once in the day, or feeling even 5% lighter than you did last week. These moments may seem tiny in the moment, but they are milestones. They're evidence that you're not stuck, you're moving. And when you recognize and celebrate them, you reinforce positive behavior and create momentum toward bigger victories. The problem is, many people dismiss small wins because they compare them to where they want to be. They think, it's not enough, so why celebrate? But here's the truth. Every major transformation is built from hundreds of small wins stacked on top of each other. The mountain is climbed one step at a time. Celebrating small wins also rewires your brain to look for progress instead of focusing on pain. It shifts your mindset from, I'm still hurting, to, I'm healing, slowly but surely. That shift is powerful because your focus determines your energy, and your energy determines your actions. So, how do you celebrate small wins? First, acknowledge them, out loud or in writing. Keep a journal and record even the tiniest improvements. Second, reward yourself in healthy ways. Watch a movie you love, spend time with someone uplifting, or give yourself a day of rest without guilt. Third, share your progress with someone who supports you. Speaking your wins into existence makes them real and it gives them weight. It's also important to understand that celebrating small wins is not about ignoring the pain or pretending everything is perfect. It's about balancing the reality of your struggle with the recognition of your strength. Even in your lowest moments, there are things worth acknowledging, and doing so keeps your spirit alive. When you honor these small victories, you train your mind to see healing not as a distant, overwhelming task, but as a series of achievable steps. That makes the journey less intimidating and far more sustainable. One day you'll look back and realize that all those little wins were actually the big wins, because they were the turning points that got you from where you were to where you are now. Pain may slow you down, but if you learn to see the value in every forward step, no matter how small, you'll keep moving. And in the end, moving forward is all that matters. Keep going no matter what. When pain hits, the easiest thing in the world is to stop, to slow down, to convince yourself that maybe it's better to wait until it hurts less before moving forward. But here's the reality. If you stop, the pain wins. If you give up, the struggle owns you instead of you owning it. No matter how bad it feels, no matter how heavy it gets, you must keep going. Progress during pain is rarely fast, but it is always powerful. Every step you take while hurting is worth 10 steps you take when life is easy. Because moving forward in the middle of discomfort is how true strength is forged. There will be days when you won't feel motivated. Days when you'll question if it's worth it. Days when your mind will try to convince you that you've reached your limit. That's when you have to remember, the limit is not real. It's just the edge of your comfort zone. Push 1 inch beyond it, and you'll prove to yourself you're capable of more. Keep going doesn't mean ignoring rest. It means refusing to quit. It means showing up for yourself in whatever capacity you can that day. Sometimes it's a full sprint, sometimes it's a slow crawl, but it's still forward. Life is full of storms, and pain is one of the fiercest winds you'll ever face. But if you keep walking through it, step by step, eventually the storm passes. And when it does, you'll find yourself standing stronger, more resilient, and more confident than ever before. Think of the people who inspire you. None of them became great because they had an easy journey. They became great because when it hurt the most, they didn't stop. They understood that enduring pain was the tuition they had to pay for the life they wanted. There's something deeply transformative about refusing to quit. It teaches you that you can survive more than you thought. It rewires your brain to face hardship with determination instead of fear. And it builds a reputation within yourself. You learn that you can trust you. The truth is, pain will visit all of us. You don't get to choose if it comes, but you do get to choose how you respond. And the ones who keep going, even when everything in them wants to stop, are the ones who come out on the other side, not just healed, but unstoppable. So no matter how slow your progress feels, no matter how far the finish line seems, keep moving. One more step, one more day, one more try. That's how you win. Not by avoiding pain, but by walking straight through it until it no longer has the power to hold you back. We've walked through every stage of dealing with pain, acknowledging it, understanding it, reframing it, and using it to fuel your growth. We've explored how pain tests you, teaches you, and transforms you, if you allow it to. Every section in this journey has been about shifting your mindset from, why is this happening to me, to, what can I build from this? Pain is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you're alive, that you care, that something matters enough to hurt. But what you do with that pain will decide who you become. You can let it harden your heart and break your spirit, or you can let it forge you into something unshakable. We've learned the importance of facing pain head-on instead of running from it. We've seen how small wins matter, how reframing your story changes everything, and how turning pain into purpose can give your suffering meaning. We've talked about persistence, about how moving forward, even when it's slow, is the most powerful choice you can make. Here's the truth. You will face pain again. Life will test you again. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. But now, you have the tools to handle it differently. You understand that pain is temporary, but the strength it builds lasts forever. The people who inspire the world are not the ones who avoided discomfort. They are the ones who walked through it with courage. They didn't wait for perfect conditions to move forward. They moved forward despite the storm, and you can too. You may not control what happens to you, but you always control what happens in you. You control your mindset, your effort, and your decision to keep going. That's where your power lies. Not in avoiding pain, but in transforming it into something that works for you, not against you. So the next time life hurts, don't retreat. Don't numb yourself. Don't tell yourself you're done. Instead, stand up, take a breath, take one small step forward, and then another, and another. Before you know it, you'll be miles away from where you started, carrying the kind of strength that only comes from surviving the hard seasons. You've already made it through pain before. You can do it again. And every time you do, you become harder to break, harder to stop, and stronger than you ever imagined. Your pain is not your prison. It's your training ground. Every scar is proof that you fought and you're still here. So when life tries to break you, smile and say, you picked the wrong person. Keep moving forward because you are stronger than the struggle.